while it is really awesome that there are so many women coming into business and things like that, I did not come from that place where it was I'm just gonna be a woman in business. I was not raised that way. Okay. So I was raised that, which is I think where we want all of our girls to be, is that there was never a difference between a man and a woman, and how I was raised.
Hey everybody, Joshua Klein here, and today I get the privilege to sit down with Miss Bobby, and she owns multiple businesses.
Hint.
So a little teaser there, but anyway, thanks for being here today. Appreciate you being here. And how about you tell people a little about who are you?
Well, my name is Bobby. I moved to Aiken in 1994. I am from a very small town in Iowa.
Okay.
And you think Aiken is small, but when I tell you small, I mean there were, as I was growing up, I want to say the population, and we're talking large farms, so the population of the whole town was 800 people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what brought you to Aiken? 800 people to
Yeah, so,
Aiken.
well, I obviously knew I didn't want to do that for the rest of my life, right? And besides, it's cold there.
Yeah.
It's really cold there.
Especially in the winter, right?
It is, it's terrible. I really have never been a snow person.
Okay.
So I always knew that I wasn't going to be where it was cold. But my sisters are all older than me. I have 5 siblings, and they are all quite a bit older than I am. Okay. And so they lived all different places in the country. And I have two sisters who lived in New Jersey, and I went there, and I was like, ooh, this is bigger, but it's way too big. So it just kind of happened across Aiken.
So found Aiken. Came to Aiken, like everybody else, probably fell in love with Aiken.
I did. It was perfect size for me.
And then never left.
It had stuff, and it had also small. It was also small. I felt it was the perfect size for me. So,
sweet.
Like everybody else.
You are now a huge part of downtown Aiken, and yes, I definitely agree. Think so, 100%. But tell us about how you got to where you are now. So you came to Aiken in '94, yes. And tell us a little about your background.
So I am actually a nurse. I went to college in Iowa, became a nurse, moved to Aiken, was fortunate enough to, right from the get-go, kind of become part of a great group of orthopedic surgeons here in Aiken. And so I worked there for 25 years.
Wow.
25 years. So that's not much older than you, probably. No, I worked there for 25 years, and the last, I think 6 years or so, I was the clinical director there. In that job, though, it's a little bit different than most nurses do. I worked in surgery with the doctors hand in hand. So I was like a surgical assistant.
Wow.
So there's not a lot of nurses who do that.
Yeah.
So, and so that's what I did before. But growing up, I always wanted to be a costume designer.
Cool.
Yeah. So I always thought that's what I would do with my life. When I was a kid, I loved to sew. I loved to make costumes. I always wanted to be a costume designer. So I just don't know why. I mean, when you're getting a little older and you're going to college, you're like, reality, let me just see what I can really be.
Yeah.
And so that's what I did as I became a nurse. And then living here, I just as always, creating was always a passion for me. I help with plays at the Playhouse. I was the president of the Aiken Kidney Benefit for a long time here in Aiken. And just loved to do costumes and stuff like that. And then came to be that I decided, actually I didn't decide myself. My sister, who lives in New Jersey, has the first Bijoux. And she talked to me, and the town that Bijoux in New Jersey is a very similar town to Aiken. So it is very rural, but there's a really great downtown area. And so I was like, this would be great in Aiken.
Yeah.
So, and also mentioning that I came from a small town before. You know, there's not opportunity for shopping and things like that in areas like that. And so everything was about 30 to 40 minutes away anywhere you would go.
Yeah.
The town that I lived in did have a little main street that would periodically get some store pop-ups and things like that in, but the community didn't support it.
Yeah.
And so I didn't want to see that in
Yeah.
Aiken. I lived it. I saw how you can go from having a few things that make things very nice and convenient to having nothing, not even a grocery store.
Wow.
So I really loved Aiken a lot when I moved here, and very honestly, when I moved to Aiken, and I hate to say that now about Aiken, but I did not feel welcome downtown. I think that they kind of have a stigma.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't know what the background of that part of Aiken is, but I know that when I found the cute little downtown part, I was like, this is so cute. And then I would go store to store and never feel welcome in any of the stores.
Yeah.
And I could see that was just having come from where I came from. Wow, that is really bad.
Yeah.
You know, this town won't be around forever if that's the way it's going to be. And so then when I talked to my sister about opening a Bijoux in Aiken, I was adamant that it was going to be my goal was everybody should be able to shop in downtown Aiken.
I love it. So you saw, I guess, a way, a problem, and had a solution.
I did. I saw
So-
what
so-
I thought was a problem anyway.
Yeah. And then this what comes
problem
from
for me.
No, I mean every entrepreneur gets that spirit of like, how can I help the community out? And that's what you want to do to push forward. So tell us how long you've been in business so far with the store.
Right. So we're going on our 9th year.
Amazing. Absolutely
Yeah,
amazing.
we're going into our 9th year. And 9 strong years, really.
Yeah.
We have gone from, so when I very first opened, we were in the Holly building, you know, across the street, and that's an awesome little building. It's got little stores inside of it. So that store was, and I'm gonna feel bad if I have the wrong dimensions of it, but it was about 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
And there was no, back room or anything like that kind of stuff. And so we have gone from that store to currently our store is 1,500 square feet.
And so you made a 50% jump in your
Yes.
growth on just the square footage size. And what year did you do that? What, 3-4 years ago, roughly?
4 years ago.
Yeah. So that's middle of COVID, kind of getting through all that.
Gracious, yeah, that was a mess.
So how'd you get through COVID? Let's ask that question first.
Okay.
As a business owner, mindset, the world is quote unquote shutting down in March of 2020, I think it was, and then you have to figure out how to kind of keep going and going forward. So y'all definitely have.
Yes.
So what was that mentality like as a business owner then?
I will be honest with you, my biggest fear as a business owner, because there are people who work with me,
Yeah.
is making sure that I can pay them.
Love it.
That is, I don't care if I don't get a paycheck for months and months and months. Obviously, they're the most important.
Yeah.
So that was the biggest fear for me.
Yeah.
Is we still have to pay rent. Still want to pay my people.
Yeah.
Want to be able to. I have to have new merchandise when we do open up.
Correct.
So I have to keep buying. We're not making any money.
Yeah.
We were very fortunate that we didn't have to be shut down that long,
Yeah.
which was great. There were a lot of people who were not out shopping,
Correct.
but because everybody knows we're just there all the time, you know. A lot of people called. We did a lot of social media.
Yeah.
Because what else did y'all have to do but sit home and look? Yeah.
Scroll.
So we did a lot of lives, and we don't normally do a lot of like live selling, the comment sold type stuff, but we interact a lot on social media. So we had people calling, you know, or even just dropping by, and we'll run it out to you and things like that.
Being creative, right?
We had to be creative, and it was rough. We obviously didn't make the revenue that we normally do,
Yeah.
but it was enough to keep everything moving and keep everybody paid.
So you get through COVID.
Yes.
Aiken continues to support you.
Of course.
You're supporting Aiken tremendously. And now we are to a spot, we're going to the new year, and drum roll.
We're moving.
Love it.
Yes, we are continuing to grow, really because of all the support in Aiken. We are hopefully, fingers crossed, January, with kind of construction stuff going on, but January we're hoping to open up in the True Value building.
Love it.
Yes, so we've gone from our little 1,000, maybe it's 1,200 square feet
Yep.
to where we are now, which is larger, and then that is, it's amazing, that's huge. It's a roller skating rink in there.
It's, yeah, I mean, 4 times the space.
It is.
Huge storefront,
It
the
is.
whole 9 yards. So congratulations.
Thank you, we're very excited.
It's just going to be amazing for our whole town to have y'all's presence even be bigger than it already is. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Can't wait to spend lots of money there.
Well, you're so cool.
My wife will be swiping the credit card, Bethany. I know you will. So
You're so
it's
funny.
great.
We will also continue, we'll expand the kind of stuff that we have.
Okay.
I will tell you a secret about the beginning of Beyond Bijoux when we were trying to come up with a name.
Okay.
Because we started out only doing accessories and jewelry, which Bijoux means jewelry in French.
Okay.
Not bougie.
Not bougie. I do say beyond bougie. That's great.
I knew that when we came up with the name that I always wanted to do more than just that, even though that's my favorite thing. And I literally sat there, my sister and I said, the prettiest name for a store is Bed Bath & Beyond.
Really?
I don't know why. I love that, right? And so I was like, how about, so we can continue to grow, what about Beyond Bijoux? Because then that would encompass anything we ever wanted to do.
I like it.
Yeah, and so now we're getting there. So with the store getting much bigger, we're going to expand all the kinds of products that we have. That's awesome. And it's exciting. So lots of stuff that y'all have asked for, feedback.
Yep.
That we have been getting from a lot of the people who shop in the store, things they asked for. I'm listening.
Love it.
So now we're doing it.
So important to have local businesses here in town so they can listen to you. I mean, it really comes down to.
I'm there to listen to, and then, Nikita, of course. Nikita, the store manager. That girl, whoo, she is, rock star. So she's reporting back to me daily things that I'm, not there to hear. Mm-hmm. She's great. So we're listening to anything that everybody's wanting in Aiken, and we're trying to make it happen.
I love it.
I'm
so excited.
I know what is exciting for us.
I don't want to take the excitement away from the announcement that you're going to be opening up the new storefront and the switch over across the street. But I want to go back to the little girl who was excited about costumes and making the sewing and everything. How did the entrepreneur side of you get started? Because it's a huge jump from going from professional 9 to 5 to making a leap of faith to going, hey, we're going to do this do this kind of together in a way.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, I will say that when I was a kid and I was making the costumes and I would do all the stuff, I also always, and you probably don't remember this. Do you? No. So when I was a child, is when Guess. Do you know what Guess is? The brand Guess.
Yeah.
Okay, came out. Well, you're on the second reincarnation of Guess, I think. But when I was a child, is when Guess came out, and Guess, they used to do these. They just looked like hand painted T-shirts, and it just had a question mark on it because that was their logo. Mm-hmm. And even I was probably 8 to 10 years old. I remember thinking, who would pay that much for that shirt? It's spray painted, right?
Yeah.
And so I actually used to go and paint T-shirts. When I tell you my parents let me do, if I had an idea for something, they were like, try it out.
That's awesome.
Yes. And so I would hand paint little T-shirts and walk around my neighborhood and sell them. And I would be out there like, a guest T-shirt's going to cost you, at the time when I was 10 years old, it was probably only like $25, but now they're like 50, and I'd be like, I can slide this to you for about $12.
You got the hookup.
So yeah, and I used to sell rocks too. I would paint rocks and sell them. So I've always I've always wanted to do stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then being in the medical field is it's very well, and also managing, because I managed a lot of people. That was a large practice, so I had to be very organized and things like that. And so there's a lot that goes into both of those.
Yeah.
That really is a crossover that a person wouldn't think. Working with surgeons, there's no crap anywhere. I mean, there's no, you don't take any crap from anybody.
Yeah, it's a serious thing going on.
It is. It's a serious thing going on, and you have to have very, very tough skin to be able to do that. And so that's awesome. And so that, really molded me.
That's awesome.
Because customers are very similar to patients. They all just want to be the most important. Well, they also want to be the most important, and they should be.
Yeah,
they should be both customers and patients.
So what about, was anything ever holding you back? Let me ask you that question, because I know there's always things that spring you forward, like your past, and you want to spring. What was holding you back because you didn't do it right away?
I did not.
So is there anything that holding you back that you're able to break through and tell yourself, hey, I can do this?
When I was 17, I had a child. So, I guess kind of just making sure there was stability. Going to college to have a career that I knew would feed her.
Yeah.
Kind of the same as making sure my employees are paid.
Correct.
That there are things that are more important than you at times. And so that's why I became a nurse. And then, just wanting to make sure, because retail is different than maybe a restaurant.
Yeah.
The retail business. So like when I tell you that, we specifically talk about J months. Any month that has a J in it, you got no money.
Yeah.
Slower. And so, it's slow. And so, I can't not pay tuition in a J month for my child, you know. So anyway, so that held me back. It didn't stop me from wanting to do it. It helped. It just, it put a damper on the things that I not even a damper, a hold on just wanting to make sure that I was prepared.
I love it. I love it's a sacrifice in a lot of ways, but you move forward, you persevere, you help get things where they need to be, stability-wise, and now you're able to do the store.
And now I I have a grown adult woman.
I love it.
And
this is a story you tell her on the backside of it is, hey, look at what mom did, right? Like we were able to get through some tough times together, I'm sure.
Yes.
And we are able now to hit goals and dreams never die.
I kind of always wanted to make sure that was never, I never wanted any of that to ever be an issue.
Yeah.
So she shouldn't be different than any other kid.
Correct.
And so I know that she can see those things from afar, but as a child, I did not ever make it an issue. Does that make sense? I never made it well, you're going to have to do this because mommy's got it. I never did.
No, I respect that a lot. And we all have our own backstories and stuff.
Yeah.
But being a woman in business, I love it. My mom and dad left young on, so my mom was my person, my grandmother was my other person. So tell us about being a woman in business, an entrepreneur woman in business.
So for me, the way that I was raised, there has never been a point in my life where that has ever been anything that was expressed to me that women can't do. And I don't think that that's the norm for a lot of women.
Yeah.
And so while it is really awesome that there are so many women coming into business and things like that, I did not come from that place where it was I'm just going to be a woman in business. I was not raised that way.
Okay.
So I was raised that, which is I think where we want all of our girls to be, is that there was never a difference between a man and a woman and how I was raised. I may have, 4 sisters who it's different because they're older than I am, but that's how I was raised.
That's great.
Right. And so it is a little bit harder for me to identify with the whole being so proud of yourself because you're a woman in business, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
I'm proud of myself for being just an entrepreneur in general. But I have seen how it does affect so many women. And so I really push for it. When I see these young women starting businesses, I just am like, do it, do it. You got to take a chance. You got to do it.
What's your biggest advice you give to somebody? It can be man or woman. What are you telling them, like up front? Like, what's the biggest obstacles, but what's going to be the things that help you persevere and be successful?
Your mindset. 100%.
And then where are you different from that? Because there are some people that will beat themselves up and don't allow success to happen.
You're right about that, I think. For me, it started with mindset. And for me, it is every day being in the right mindset for that. Because there's a lot of days that I wake up and I'm like, whew, you got to talk yourself into stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you did the right thing. But when you have a nagging voice, I think, that is trying to give you an idea, and you beat yourself up over it and you don't do it, those are windows. That's your spirit knocking, that this is what you should be doing. There's so many people who, there a lot of, I don't know what my purpose is, I don't know, where I should be, but they do have that voice in the back of their head giving them ideas, and they're not following them because they're not in the right mindset. They don't believe that they can do it.
Yeah.
And if you're there, I think you should reach out to people who are in the same business or who have the same idea that you do. And you're going to find, if you truly are an entrepreneur and you're following your dream, things are going well for you, you're not going to get somebody who's going to give you bad advice, who's going to tell you, don't even think about it. You're not going to get it. Yeah. You're not going to get it because it's so much easier to go have a 9-to-5 job, honestly. It's easier to just go get a job, a regular job, I should say, and let somebody else pay you.
Correct.
So you're not going to find an entrepreneur who's not going to give you sound advice and encourage you, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, an opportunity out there is tremendous for all businesses, but the support of so many is hard to come by if you're not reaching to the right circles.
Correct.
You really have to reach out for the right circles of it. So one of the things that I like to talk about is what things we get involved in the community on. I know we talk about Aiken being really supportive of you, but why is Aiken so important to you as a person, not only as a business owner, but as a person? Like, why is Aiken the community for you?
Because Aiken has enough of that small town vibe that could be lost if there aren't people jumping in there and trying to create community. Yeah. It's growing fast, and I don't want to lose that. Yeah. I don't want to lose that. Aiken can be, it can be big, but it can have a small town heart. Yeah. Which is what I would like to see. I mean, I think that getting younger. I mean, of course, when I started this, I was 8 years ago. I mean, much younger than I am now, but the younger people bringing business into town. I don't want to see that go away, and I like to see that part grow, and I also like to see the support that the community gives. I like to walk down the street and know who's there.
Yeah.
You know, it's neat.
It is fun. I mean, I bring clients into town, and you can literally walk from my office to a restaurant to grab lunch, and you're stopping 3, 4, 5 times along the way to say hey to somebody, check in, how's your family, how's business, how's life.
Yeah.
It really is a family environment when you go downtown Aiken.
Right.
So we know we have the store, but what's next for you? 'Cause I know there's other dreams out there.
Yes. So, well, you know yourself when you're an entrepreneur that dreams just build off of each other, right?
Correct. It's a beautiful thing.
And so if we want to go back to that little girl who wanted to be a costume designer, the other thing that, well, a lot of you who do know me know that Halloween is kind of my jam.
Yeah.
You know? And not because I'm some crazy witch lady. Halloween, in my opinion, allows people to be whoever they want to be for a little while.
Okay.
You know? If you're nervous or if you're a shy person, you can be whoever that costume is. Just like being an actor in a play, right? So I have always wanted to, ever since I was a child also, I've always wanted to own a haunted house.
Love it.
Right? And so, well, something else that I didn't share with you is that I really love children a lot, even though I only have the one. There's not a lot for kids to do in Aiken, right? And so I want to build on that. So I would like to create, I guess, I'm not going to call it an attraction. I want to call it I don't know what I want to call it yet. It is also unnamed.
I like it.
Right? It is also unnamed.
Unnamed show.
Right.
Yeah.
Unnamed show. So last year we bought 40 acres of land that are near the interstate so that we can, in 2023, hopefully in September, we are going to bring to Aiken we'll bring a haunted trail, and it will be a professional haunted trail, and then it will come in phases. And so we also would like to have a pumpkin patch, children's activities.
Love it.
So, I really admire the way Deceased Farms grew their farm that way. Because you want to talk about an entrepreneur.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
Farmers who now look at their opportunity that they had, you know. And so we have nothing like that in Aiken, and I'm very surprised by that because of the rural community that we have. And so, so we will be opening that next year, and it is Highway 1, just right before the interstate. It's Creekview Farm is the name of our farm. If you look us up on Facebook, it's just kind of not a very exciting Facebook page right now, but it's going to be. So the haunted house portion of it will be several miles, actually, and we're still, yes.
Love it.
And that'll be very big. That's very large. And it'll be very natural. It's actually a natural trail, and so it's going to be different. It's not going to be Jason and Freddie chasing you or Michael Myers or whatever. It's completely different. So we'll be doing a lot of really fun things with that, lots of kids' activities. We will have farm animals. I was traditional farm animals, I'm going to stick my own thing. And so it's very exciting for us because those are two dreams that I had growing up that I'm making come to life.
I love it. Dreams never die.
And it'll grow from there. I mean, who knows what will be next after that.
I love it. Well, we're getting towards the end of the show. We're super blessed to even have this ideas and your passion to move forward and do these projects. Absolutely amazing. But I want to go to a little segment. I like to just ask some questions, and you got to give me one-word answers. Okay. But some of you can give me two. You can cheat a little bit.
Okay,
I'll give you permission.
I'm a cheater.
So
ask Allie.
Your favorite clothing item?
Does it have to be clothing or just going to be like a thing?
But your choice. I'm not going to judge you. Bracelets. Favorite color?
Black.
Black, okay. Favorite time of the year? Fall.
Halloween.
I'll say, there you go. It's pretty easy ones. Favorite spot,
feel like
vacation.
I'm leading.
Yeah, favorite vacation spot.
The beach.
The beach. Do you have a preference on where you go to the beach?
The less people, the better.
Okay. Caribbean or like
Any.
Any? Okay. Yeah, water. Love it. Love it.
Any beach. I like the beach.
Is there anything you want to tell the people before they can give them their contact information, how to get in contact with you?
Sure. If you don't already follow Beyond Bijoux Aiken on Facebook and Instagram, you can certainly go ahead and do that. We would appreciate it. And we post all of our new stuff all the time. It's very easy to get a hold of us. If you just even comment something that you want, Nikita's going to get a hold of you, and she's going to have it to you just like that. She has even, when I walked in, gave me a bag and be like, here's an address. I meant to give this lady and I didn't get it out on time. Go deliver it. Like, yes, ma'am.
There you go.
And you can always look at us online, beyondbijouxaiken.shop. And then keep looking out for Creekview Farms and our new.
Still, I'm sure that would be grand opening, the whole 9 yards.
And then, yes, when we move across the street for the store, for Beyond Bijoux, we're going to have a huge grand opening. And of course, that's going to be dependent upon when they finish the construction.
I love it. Aiken is better because of you.
You're so
thank
sweet.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to seeing all your future growth.
Thank you.
Awesome.